Alright, so I just want to take a look at this article from the, if you could see it there, from the Huffington Compost. I will try to put it in the description. If I forget, the title is Badass Moms Take Gunfight to NRA's Home Turf. So, the NRA, I'm not a big fan of the NRA. I don't know too much about them, but they seem kind of like controlled opposition, or like I hear about them. There's an article on BuzzFeed, about them, collecting data from gun owners, which they're supposed to be against. Like collecting gun data from, gun owners, which they're supposed to be against. So I mean, they're kind of hypocritical in their ways, and I see articles where they met with like Joe Biden. I heard, and gun, which that might not mean anything, but like, I sort of think that they're just kind of controlled, opposition. I don't know, but like I'm not too keen on the NRA. I gotta do more research on them. Like, there's so many issues in the world. It's hard for me to, just do research on everything. But I mean, from what I see, I think the NRA is more controlled by I don't know, but they don't seem like a legitimate Second Amendment group. But basically, this person thinks they're all badass. And I hate how the Huffington Post are calling them badass moms. They put it in parentheses, but I mean, still. They're like, oh, we're all badass. We're promoting, going up against these big corporations or whatever, CEOs. It's fucking ridiculous. You know what a real badass woman would do? You know what a real, a real person, a real woman would do? She would be carrying around a gun, protecting herself from criminals, from government, the biggest one, government, just general thugs in general. They would be protecting themselves, not fucking walking around protesting guns. I mean, this is ridiculous. They're trying to, act like, oh, if you're against guns, you're badass. No. If it's the other way around. If a woman has a gun, that's bad. I think that's badass. I always tell the person I work with, sometimes, like in the winter it gets dark, obviously, and, earlier. So I'll walk her out to her car, you know, and she's like, oh, I don't want anybody to steal me. I'm like, why don't you get a gun? That's real, Second Amendment. That's why the Second Amendment's there. It's not there for deer hunting or skeet shooting or protecting against Indians like they told us, like the gun control fanatics like to tell us about. It's there to protect us against criminals, and number one, it's there to protect us against government, tyrannical governments. You're real, like how many women get raped each year? A lot. I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot. If they had guns, that number would go so far down. If all of them had guns, just crime against women would go down. Just general crime would go down the more guns you have. Statistically, where there's more guns and less gun control, crime is lower. Look at fucking, Chicago, like all the places where they have strict gun control, Chicago, New York, DC, crime is through the roof. It's up. But where they have lax gun control, crime is down. Because people have guns to protect themselves against. And if you have fucking, a gun control zone right here, and this is, a fucking gun free, you can bring your guns wherever. People are gonna still carry their guns. The criminals are still gonna carry their guns into the gun control zone to conduct acts of violence. They don't care. They don't care about laws. All right. I heard about a restaurant that said, "Oh, we're gun control. No guns in here," and yeah, criminals bring guns in there. I mean, signs aren't gonna stop them. Laws aren't gonna stop our criminals from using guns to commit crimes. All right, let's just get that straight. And when you have no guns, then the criminals know that you're not going to have anything to protect themselves with, and if they have the gun, they're going to have the upper hand. And even if they don't have a gun, they're still, they know they're probably not going to die. So, the more guns we have, the better. Especially as women go, I think that's a really badass thing. For women to own a gun, for women to protect themselves, to feel safe from, like I hear Michael Moore, his anti-gun fucking, speech or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's like, yeah, if you want to protect yourself, get a dog. What the fuck? Get a dog? Are you fucking kidding me? No, we want guns to protect ourselves. Dogs aren't gonna do shit against a tyrannical government. So let's get fucking guns in the hands of women, because guns are real. That's real. When I think of guns and women, that's real. That's a real woman right there that wants to protect herself, protect her family, protect her kids. Because when you're at home, maybe she's at home with her kids, father's not home. It would be nice if the mom would feel safe with the gun in her hand, because I know I would. Like if I had a gun in my hand, I would feel safe. And just because somebody shoots somebody, and fucking wherever, does a mass shooting or whatever, just because there's one criminal does not mean I get my Second Amendment rights taken away or restricted. And when they're gonna do all this, oh, we just want to take away the assault rifles, oh, we just want to do this. No, they want to take away it all. Look up, people. Do some research. State memorandum or state number. I forget what it's specifically called. State number document 7277. It talks about disarmament of the citizens through the police, disarmament of the police through the military, and disarmament of the military through the United Nations. So it basically speaks of complete disarmament for the entire nation of America. And Dianne Feinstein says, Mr. and Mrs. America, we want to take all your guns. I want to take all America's guns. Ha ha ha. So, there is a plan. There are people out there who want to take all the guns. It's pretty obvious. When people say, oh, we just want the assault rifles. No, they're going to go farther than that. You get Obama praising Australia's total gun ban too. So they obviously want more than the assault rifles. And some say, oh, we just want you to register. Well, then that turns a right, as Alex Jones, I was listening to Alex Jones, that turns a right into a privilege. Because you don't have you don't have to register to free speech. You don't have to register to practice a religion. So we shouldn't have to register to get a gun, all right? And that's gonna do nothing. They have a big database. They're gonna register us, and then they're gonna confiscate. That's part of the plan, I think. So no, we shouldn't have to register a law. Why should a law-abiding citizen have to register their gun? Why should I have to be unreasonably search and seizure just because I have a gun, I have a weapon, have a tool? Should we start fucking registering people that have knives, which kill people? It's just totally illogical. They're creating this thing like, oh, people with guns are, bad people with people with assault rifles are bad people. They're saying, oh, Alex Jones, I don't want him to have a gun. I'm afraid he's gonna shoot me in his house if I have a debate with him. That's what Alan Dershowitz said. More like, I was gonna say more like Alan douchebag, but don't want to go that far. But still, the Second Amendment again is there to protect against tyrannical governments. When they take away the guns, that's when they start being more tyrannical. Look at all the places in the world right now that are in shambles, that are corrupt, that have corrupt governments, that have oppressive governments. And look at us. We have oppressive leaders, but we have our Second Amendment, and the government isn't getting too tyrannical. They are getting tyrannical. They're not. The guns aren't just there for a rebellion if it's not necessary. But look at situations where we need guns, like in Ferguson, where the cops get too oppressive and they try to infringe on our First Amendment rights, or the Bundy Ranch situation when when government gets too oppressive. We need guns for situations like that, and we also need guns in time of if we need to replace our government when it gets too oppressive, like right now. You know, like if a peaceful revolution isn't gonna work, well, I'm not for a violent revolution, but if they start something, you know, it could very well ignite a violent revolution. Um, but yeah, I mean, having no guns is not badass at all. That's actually the total opposite from badass. A woman having guns, that's about as badass as you can get right there. A woman with guns ready to defend herself and to feel protected, that is real Second Amendment there. And I'm sure a lot of people live in nice areas and don't understand the need to protect themselves. But if you live in a questionable neighborhood, I mean, that's just more reason to have a gun and to be able to protect yourself. You have a right to protect yourself, and if you're a law-abiding citizen and use that gun right, yes, you have a right to protect yourself against criminals, against government, against whatever you need to protect yourself against. So there you go, people. There's my big speech on the Second Amendment. And no, I don't want to ban assault rifles, because assault rifles are only used in 4% of, like, I think it's like 4% of the murders I've heard. And even if you, and the biggest reason why they shouldn't be banned is we need them to protect against, you know, oppressive government. Governments have killed what, 200, I believe it was 280 million people in the 20th century, or whatever, 9th century before this one. I don't know what the 20th century I believe it is. So that's why we need guns, to protect against oppressive governments that want to kill their people, that want to enslave their people, that want to be oppressive to their people. So there you go, people. There's my speech on the Second Amendment. So there you go.